Hey there, everyone. I am so excited. Let me tell you why. Last week, I gave a bunch of my students a survey to complete for me. And the survey was to help me get to know you a little bit better. And you know what? It did more than that. I was reading through the responses and I was just so amazed at the amount of information you guys gave me and just how wonderful it was. And I feel like I've gotten to know a bunch of you so much better already. And I think that's fantastic because at Paces, we want to try and create a community. Well, one of the things that amazed me the most was that one of the questions was, do you have any questions for Miss R? And usually in the past, students will ask me things like, well, Miss R, I'm not quite sure where to find my digital textbook. Or, Miss R, I don't know how to hand in assignments. Can you help me? And you know what? The funny thing is that this time, I pretty much got no questions like that. Instead, you know what I got? I got questions asking more about me. And so I thought to myself, instead of individually responding to all of those questions, this next episode of Ask Miss Rochford Anything is going to feature those questions that you guys asked. So here we go. Well, as you guys all know, frogs are my absolute favorite animal. But my second favorite animal after frogs are horses. I just love horses. When I was younger, I used to work at a summer camp where I got to spend all day with horses, taking care of them, riding them, whatever I wanted. And that was a blast for me. I loved it. So horses are my second favorite animal after frogs. I wish I did. But no, I don't. The only frog pets that I have are the little frog figurines that are all over my house. You can even see one right back here. Closest that I get to real pet frogs are outside this window right over here. There is a bunch of them that at night sing me to sleep. I love that. But that's as close as I get to having them as real pets. Well, I actually live in a rather small town in the Lower Mainland called Aldergrove. That's in BC. I'm not too far away from the big city of Vancouver, but I'm not a big city person. I don't like the crowds and all of the people crammed in so close together. I like the smaller towns. And so here in Aldergrove, it's really nice because it's smaller, there's not as many people, and there's a lot of farmland around here. And so that's where I live. I live in a small little town just outside of the big city of Vancouver. That's a great question. I've been a teacher for about 16 years now. Most of that time, I think I shared this in class one day with you guys, most of the time has been spent teaching junior high kids. I spent some time in high school and I spent a little bit of time in elementary, but I always come back to junior high because you know what? Junior high kids are the best. So yeah, I've been teaching for about 16 years now. Good question. I really like Chinese food. Chinese food is probably one of my favorite types of food. But if I had to narrow it down to just one dish, I actually think that I would choose pancit. It's a Filipino dish. And my son's grandmother on his father's side, oh, she used to make the best pancit ever. I've never tasted anything quite like it since then. But that's probably one of my favorite dishes. Well, I became a teacher because I've always liked kids. I've always liked working with kids, particularly those kids that seem to be misunderstood by other people. One of the things that I wanted to be the most when I was growing up, it was either a lawyer or a mother. Those are the two things that I really, really wanted to be. And as I got older, I ended up tending towards the lawyer side because being a mother, that wasn't a very good way of making money and supporting myself. So for a long time, I was looking at becoming a lawyer. When I got to college, I realized, I can take my love for being with kids and helping them and working with them, and that can become an occupation for me. And so I ended up choosing teaching to be my career. He wishes he was. He would like to be. And at the beginning of the year, we were going back and forth about whether or not he was going to join Paces. And he was going to. But then we ended up deciding that he's going to stay at the school that he's been at for a while. It's an Adventist school really close to us, because he would miss out too much on the sports and stuff that he gets involved with at school. And so it was a hard decision to make because he really wanted to be a part of Paces. But this year he is not. He is currently at his other school. That's an easy answer for me. There's one place that I have always wanted to travel to, and that's Ireland. My family, their roots are Irish, and I have always been curious about that. And so I have always wanted to travel to Ireland to find out a little bit more about my family history. And as well, I've seen pictures from the place, and they are beautiful. It is remarkable scenery that is there, and I would love to travel to Ireland with my camera to be able to take some of those pictures myself. I have two siblings. Both of them are sisters, and both of them are younger than me. We grew up in a pastoral family, and so we were moving around a lot, and so we ended up becoming rather close, especially to this day. We are each other's best friends. We talk almost every day, and we still spend a lot of time together. One of my sisters has two kids, a boy and a girl, my niece and nephew, and we get together an awful lot. And kids are best friends, and so we're a very close family right now, and spend a lot of time together. I have only one pet right now. I wish I could have more, but I do have one cat, and her name is Stormy. She's not around right now, but maybe on another video I'll be able to share her with you as well. I certainly do. I like both playing sports as well as watching sports. The sport that I like to play the most is volleyball. I've always loved volleyball. I was on teams when I was in school, way back in the day. And so I've always loved volleyball. The sports I like watching in particular are hockey, most definitely, baseball, and football. I really enjoy watching those. I'm not the most coordinated person when it comes to those sports, so I can't play them as well, but I definitely love watching them. And because I spent most of my growing up years in Toronto, I am unfortunately a Toronto fan for everything. Leafs, Jays, all the way. Okay, well, let's see. The how old am I part? Well, that's actually a competition that I try and put out to all my students, see if they can guess how old I am. So, you guys can use whatever methods you need to try and figure out how old I am. First person to guess gets a prize from me. My hobbies outside of Paces definitely have some. The most important one to me is photography. I've been a photographer for quite a while now. Love it. It is so peaceful and calming for me. I'll oftentimes go out in nature and just spend some time out there with just myself, God, and the camera, and spend time, taking pictures and enjoying nature and the quiet. So that's my hobby outside of Paces. The last question that I have here, I think that must have come from JJ or Sarah E. Because it says, when are you coming to Florida with your family to visit the Alviers? Well, I can't say that traveling outside of Canada is a huge thing that I do. I generally try and stick to Canada because flying and stuff, I'm a terrible flyer. You can ask my son. He laughs at me when when we fly together because I get scared so easily. So I don't know if I'll be traveling to Florida soon. However, part of my family will be in Florida, I think within the next week. If not sometime during this month, I'm pretty sure it is. My youngest sister is traveling to Florida this month. And so there you go. There will be a representative of my family in Florida this month. Well, those are all the questions that you guys had for me. Thank you so much for asking them. I had a great time answering them, and hopefully you feel that you've gotten to know your teacher a little bit better. I certainly feel like I've gotten to know you guys much better after all those answers that you gave me in the survey, and And you know what? I look forward to the rest of this year because we are going to continue getting to know each other more and more and more. You guys are awesome. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. See you guys.